Yo, what's going on, guys? It's Houston Sports Talk back in another video today, and we're going to be talking about the Nets potentially trading for a backup center. As yesterday, it was reported by Bleacher Report that the Nets are seeking for more front court help, as the Brooklyn Nets are going to be looking to trade for a backup center to help with Nick Claxton. Yes, Nick Claxton has been an amazing piece to the Nets this season. He's been playing tremendous, averaging a double-double, playing great basketball on low shooting percentage. Great, he's been great for them, but they need to add in a backup center for this Nets team. And after that report came out, there wasn't any specific player that they were looking for. So kind of did some digging and went over some centers that I thought that could be a potential target for the Brooklyn Nets in this trade deadline for backup centers. Now, I'm going to give the list of names that I think could be a good option for the Brooklyn Nets. And number one, it starts with Mike Muscala. I mean, I don't have to explain this. He's tall, he's 6'10". He's a good shooter. He's a stretch big. I mean, he can shoot from deep as well. He's shooting 36% from three this season, 80% from the free throw line as a 6'10" big man. So he's a good shooting big man. I like him. I think this would be a great addition to Brooklyn. They have so many players who can't shoot. So to add in, you got Claxton, who's not a shooter. You have Ben Simmons, not a good shooter. You have two of those guys who, they're not great shooters at all, and you have them two playing a lot of minutes. So you add in Mike Muscala, he's a good shooter. I like it for Brooklyn. Another guy who I could see Brooklyn being potentially interested in for the backup center role is Nerlens Noel. I like Nerlens Noel, but I just don't see the fit. I mean, I don't know. I really don't. I'm thinking I'd rather just keep Day'Ron Sharpe in this, in my opinion. I'd rather keep Day'Ron Sharpe. Nerlens Noel is nice. He has barely played at all this season. He's averaging 2.5 points. He was, basically parted ways. He's kind of like doing, what Cam Reddish is doing with the Knicks. He has not played at all. So I just don't know if I would want to take a chance on that. But yeah, moving on to the final player, and I would like this trade for the Nets. Bringing back someone who used to play for you last season, Andre Drummond. You're not getting the prime Andre Drummond who, when Andre Drummond is 2015, 2016 prime, this Nets team, if you add him in, they're probably gonna win the championship with everything everything they already have. But this is 2023 Andre Drummond, not 2015, 2016 Andre Drummond. But Andre Drummond he's had an off year in Chicago, but he still has a little bit. He still has some glimpses of his old self. He's averaging 6 points per game this season. He's averaging, I think, 7 or 8 rebounds per game this season. He's getting a lot of blocks. I like it. And his minutes are down than they were in Brooklyn last season because Vooch gets a lot of minutes. So I would like him to be back in Brooklyn. I really loved him in Brooklyn before. So I think for Brooklyn, when it comes to getting a new backup center, I think that it would probably come down to Mike Muscala and Andre Drummond, if anybody. But as much as I love Andre Drummond to return to the Brooklyn Nets, I got to say you got to go with Mike Muscala. And before I say why or anything, I'm going to give you the trade packages for all three of these. So for Nerlens Noel to arrive in Brooklyn, it would just take the contracts of Markieff Morris and Kessler Edwards, who's a young small forward, power forward, or whatever he is. Now, for this trade, for Detroit, you're just getting rid of Nerlens' contract. You're getting a guy in Markieff Morris, who they probably release. Now, I like the addition for Kessler Edwards. The Detroit Pistons are a young team. They need players like Kessler Edwards, who has not proved much in the NBA. But I do think, with the Pistons are a young rebuilding team. They like to take chances on guys. So I would like that trade for the Pistons. So yeah, we'll see. For the Andre Drummond trade, it would be the same deal. Just Markieff Morris and Kessler Edwards going to Chicago. You might have to add in a 2025 second rounder. I don't think you will have to, but if I think adding in a second-round pick for 2025 will just send Chicago all the way to a yes, but that would be the deal to get him there. Now, Mike Muscala, this would take Day'Ron Sharp and a 2025 second-round pick. I think that gets the deal done. I think that the Thunder would probably want a backup center back in return. And Day'Ron Sharp, he's a young player. He showed some potential, and I think he'd be good in OKC. I think he fits well there. And Mike Muscala, here's the thing: Mike Muscala fits better in Brooklyn, and I think Day'Ron Sharp fits better in OKC. So I'd love the swap for the two. So yeah, I mean, I think that Mike Muscala, I think he fits Brooklyn the best. And as a Rockets fan, I got to throw out this and a couple other players that I could potentially see Brooklyn going after. Maybe Boban, maybe. He's really tall, 7'4", so maybe they take a shot at Boban. I don't know. I was thinking a little bit of Jackson Hayes, but I don't think so because he's on an expiring deal, and I think his money's a little high. So I think right now, I think that Boban could be another option for Brooklyn for the backup center, trying to add in another center. But I think Muscala is the best option for the Brooklyn Nets, and I think that's the guy I go after. He's a good shooter. He's tall. He's what you need, but he's a shooter. Like, I like Drummond. He's a good rebounder. He's great at blocking. He's good in the paint. Give you second chance points. For me, Muscala is the same height, rebounds a little less, but can shoot. So for Brooklyn, I think Mike Muscala would be way better for them. And I think that if I'm Brooklyn, I'm going after Mike Muscala. And I know Day'Ron Sharp, he's a nice young piece and a second-round pick. It's hard to give up picks when with Brooklyn they don't have a lot of picks. But I think Muscala is worth it. So I think if I'm Brooklyn, I'm going to go and try to trade for Mike Muscala because I think he can help Brooklyn. Obviously, he's not someone who's going to push them to make the to make it to the finals, but I think he can make some big shots in the playoffs. So, I mean, he's a good shooter. He has other attributes. I think that he could be big for the Brooklyn Nets in the playoffs, and we'll see if the Nets end up trading for a backup center. It's going to be interesting, and that's it for the video. Hope you guys enjoy. Let me know your thoughts, and peace out.